So let's get started with alternating pickup. And that term refers to the fact that we will have one background thread for every pattern thread, and that will become clearer as we go along. But that will result in a band that looks like this. So we are going to alternate a background thread, which is cream, and a pattern thread, which is gold. And we've made the charts and the draft match these bands that I'll be showing you with, but you could use any combination of colors. And you just need 2 yarns that are similar in size for this technique. I'll be using a Shetland yarn, and it's actually a knitting yarn. So using some soft yarns like that work well for this technique. Going with yarns that are not too fuzzy, and that's a nice place to start so you don't have trouble as you get weaving. And so it's going to change the way the band feels. And if we start looking at how we put this band together, we're going to look at the draft. And a draft is going to show you how you thread the heddle. And this heddle has slots and holes. And on my draft, I have heddled pattern rows, and that's the hole, and unheddled, which is the slot. And unheddled just means that it's going to float. It's not being moved as we move the heddle up and down. So this, as I read along, I would have this slot is my first block, would be a background thread. And that's what this kind of cream colored block is. And then on the top row, which would refer to the holes, I have another background thread. And not until I get to the next slot do I have a pattern thread. And that's the gold thread in this case. And so when I start warping, I will be putting threads in order that match this draft. And so that will then set up your warp when you begin to weave. And to weave, you're going to use a chart like this, and it will tell you which threads you need to manipulate. And we'll come back to that and get a closer look once we start weaving. So when we have a heddle like this, how do we get all of our threads organized and slayed, which is where we pull the threads through the heddle so that it can be ready in this exact pattern. So now we're ready to wind the warp. And the distance between the pegs or the clamps that you're using is going to determine the length of the warp. For today, I'm going to show you how to do a very short warp. And I really love doing those myself, even though I've woven dozens, 100 bands, but I still love doing short warps because it's a very small amount of material and time, and you get huge amounts of information. So practicing that way where you get your project, your short warp on and off, you are going to get that much more comfortable with band weaving. Another little extra you might add into your kit for safety's sake is non-slip mats. So this is like what you'd put under a rug to keep it from moving around on a hardwood floor. And you can buy big rolls of it. By putting that on the edge of the table where you are clamping, you are going to ensure that it isn't going to slide off. Because if you start getting your warp on under tension and one of these pegs lets go, it's not a great day. So we have a warp that will be this long. Okay, I'm going to move my materials around so I can just have my scissors and my yarn. And the yarns that I chose are high contrast colors. So you can experiment with having colors that are not as high contrast, but starting that way is a really good basis for making sure you have the threads that you want and you get a good effect from your weaving. I'm going to start tying on and on my left side. That's how I usually like to start this. And I'm going to look at my draft and follow along as I do my warp. This is really important. And it's also really important to know that I have a 25 hole 25 end heddle, but there are 23 ends here. So it's good to go through and count the number of threads that you need. When you see these empty white boxes, that's not a thread. That's just a placeholder. So you would count 1, 2, 3, 4, and there are 23 threads here. So I am going to start with a background thread. So I'm going to have a cream, cream, gold, and that begins the gold. Start with alternating. And so you have gold, cream, and you go through that. So I am going to start by pulling some yarn out of this. You can use just about anything for this type of thing. It could be cotton. It could be some leftover weaving wool. This is a knitting wool, but anything that's a good fit for your heddle size will work. And I am going to tie this onto the peg, and I just usually put my finger in there as I tie the knot, so it's not too tight. But I don't want this to slip, so that's important. So when I come over here, I am making my first thread. And when I do my figure 8, I'm going around and I come back, and now I have 2 background threads, and that is 1 and 2. So now I need to switch to gold, which means I have to cut my thread here. And Heather Torgenrud, who wrote a wonderful book about this type of weaving, she has a pair of scissors that she ties onto a cord and hangs around her neck. So if you're using a long warp, your scissors are traveling with you. So when we're doing these short warps, it helps with that as well. So you just keep them in the middle. Keep your yarns in the middle. And now it's time to tie on my gold thread. So I am going to tie a knot while keeping my other threads under tension. So I want to keep all of these the same tension as I wind them as much as possible. So if one gets really loose and you let it go, take a little time to make sure that they are even again. So if you're a very tight warper or a very loose warper, it's okay, but just pick your tension and try to stay consistent just with yourself. So I'm going over my peg in my figure 8, and when I come back this direction, then I have my first pattern end. And if I look at my chart, again, I only have 1. So I am going to usually just press this against the post, grab my scissors, cut my yarn, and I'm going to tie it on to a background thread. So if you are a thoughtful fiber person, you will probably think, well, you could just change the order that you're warping in and avoid all the knots. And that is true. But I'm showing you this way because it will allow you to weave just about anything if you know how to do the knots and you get comfortable doing that. So I feel like it's really worthwhile, especially as we build our skills and start looking at the Baltic bands. So I'm coming down here, and there's one of my background threads. And because I'm alternating for this type of pickup, it means I'm going to tie a knot on each end. And I have 1 gold, and then I'll have 1 cream. And you just keep going until I get all 23 done. All right, I have my 23 ends, and I can see my cross. So that's a good way to make sure that you've been on track. So when I put my hands through here, I can see pattern threads and I can see background threads. And we will separate that and keep the cross in place with our little popsicle sticks. And because we tied each end of the warp, our first thread and our very last thread, to the post, it means that we have 2 threads that are kind of falling in the middle of this cross. So we just need to make sure that they get in the right place. So if I was to put this thread to the bottom, when I look at my cross, I can see when I compare it to my draft that I am missing an end. So if I look at this slot unheddled row, I have all my pattern threads and I need a background thread on each end. And I only have one here. So that means that this one is going to go like that. So I've got that in the right place. Now I'm going to do the same thing on the other side and make sure that it gets in the right spot. Okay. Like that. And I am ready to start taking this off of the pegs.